Well, everyone, welcome to another race weekend here. It's officially a bye week, so you can see the lobby's pretty small compared to our normal runs here. But we are doing a mini championship this week, so we're kicking off with an F2 race at Monza, and we'll be running using that to develop the grid for our first F1 race in Spain, and we'll be doing a few other 5-lap races with one-shot qualifying. Totally fixed setup, auto ERS, so it's just for the fun of it at this point. But not a lot of practice from any of us here. You can see we've got 8 in the lobby now. We were looking, we had about 10 sign-ups. Some guys weren't going to be able to make it today. It's going to be a 2-day event. We're doing roughly 12 total races at 5 laps apiece. So we're doing 6 today and 6 tomorrow at about the same time. So I'll get these pumped out and headed out to you guys back to back as quickly as possible. But it's just kind of a good little fun thing to do in the meantime as we're kind of taking the week off. The way the league schedule's set up, we have a weekend off at the start of each month of both June and July. So we'll be looking to do these mini championships. We're kind of taking some of the tracks that we haven't driven on so far. And and ones we also won't necessarily see during the actual season. So no formation laps or anything, just 5 red lights. Let's just go straight on, sure. Well, it looks like everybody pretty much died in Turn 1 Monza. So everybody had a car with terrible brakes compared to F1 cars on the track. Nobody's really practiced so far. So it went about as well as I expected it was going to. But let's see if we can't catch up to Racer in front of us and see if we can get back in the lead. We were given pole position off of a random draw, so probably be my only pole position of the season in this league. Especially when you start to factor in the normal races, unless a bunch of people make some mistakes in one-shot qualifying and invalidate their lap times, and I managed to sneak one that way, I might be able to get away with one. But we're definitely going to have to be in for an interesting little session here. It'll be not super serious, just kind of taking it fun and just kind of enjoying the time racing. Oh, let's go ahead and just rev out 4th gear and not be able to pick up anything. That's going to put me in a little bit of trouble to K3 behind. Alright, see how everybody navigates Parabolica for the first time. It's like a couple people have had some big Fs early on. K3's right in the slipstream there. Oh, come on! Nemesis, you monster! Why? Why would you just wreck straight into me like that? I think that was Nemesis. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see if we can't catch back up to the field here. Man, we were in position to really battle for the win there, and we just got totally taken out. Oh, Marco. Oh, Marco's down and out. And so another thing we're doing in this mini championship is we're running off of the older point scoring system, where it's instead of, you know, the top 10 guys scoring all the way up to 25 points, it works from first down. It goes 10, 8, 6. I think it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have to double check that. The 5 is the one I'm not sure of. I know it's 2 points per position from first for the top 3. I don't know if it's 5 or not off the top of my head. I'll look in between races, but definitely some ways to pick up points. So obviously with a smaller field, we wanted to, you know, incentivize being a little bit closer up towards the front there. But also it kind of tightens up the gaps between some of the other positions. You're not totally out. We are doing a fastest lap point, I believe, as well during this championship. But it'll be just kind of a good, fun time. And as I said, 5-lap races, so it'll be quick action. Unfortunately, that's not going to allow me a lot of time to catch up. Oh, just go ahead and chuck it across the curbs there. So unfortunately, even though I was running right there, getting taken out in the chicane, the start of lap 2 definitely did not help me out. We're P5 at the moment. Could have been so much better. Got plenty of gap here. I don't think we're necessarily going to be able to close up this gap over 2 laps here unless somebody makes a pretty hefty mistake up the field.
Caution, caution.
Speaking of...
Green flag, we're racing again.
Let's see if we can hold this for shot. Alright. A little better on the brakes than us, so he's gone through. Well, let's see if we can't catch a little slipstream and see if we can't ride up to him. See if we can get that 4th place back off of him. Or we're just going to go ahead and go wide into the gravel traps. Not exactly F1 quality feeling cars, these F2 cars. Definitely a little bit tougher to handle. But only 2 laps left to go here. And chuck it through Ascari. Run it nice and out wide onto the curbing there. Really definitely have to, I was able to do a couple of laps to get used to just the feel of the car and kind of figure out some of the braking points, but otherwise, most of these tracks that we're going to run today, I haven't had a lot of laps in the fixed setups, because that's another thing that I put a lot of time into is the setups as well, and getting the car feeling, you know, pretty good. At least for me, so... Oh, 2-second penalty?
The time penalty will go against our finishing time at the end of the race.
Well, that's not good. I'm probably going to lose a position to Marco behind me then. Less than ideal. Oh, it's 2.0. I got to be good in this last sector. We're hoping Marco makes a mistake somehow. But I'm losing that gap to him. Losing it rapidly. Yeah, he's right there now. Oh, that was scary. That was real sketch. I almost lost the car there. Well, came across, we dropped behind, P6, unfortunately. Let's see who else is crossing the lines here. Gully at the back. Oh man. Off to such a great start, and then punted to death. But that's going to dictate the grid for the next race, which I believe is Spain. Spain, if I'm not, where's my little paper? Yep, Spain will be up next. All right. Well, that's one race, so we're down in 6th. I think everybody gets points. Let me find the message that said that's grid updates. Keep going, Discord. Here we go. Yeah, so it's 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So with the 8 runners that we have right now, everybody will be scoring points each race. And that should be all right for us. So 10, 8, 6, 5, 4. So we should get 3 points. 3 points because we finished 6th. But a good start. A good start. So let's jump in. We're going to stick with, in our F1 car, we're going to stick in our Haas there. We are running automatic on the ERS mode just to keep everything kind of fair and balanced. Starting grid-wise, we will get it adjusted based on the F2 race. But after that, the rest of the races today, which should be, let's see, France, Hungary, Russia, and China. Yeah, those four remaining races after Spain here, those will be determined on a one-shot qualifying, and then that'll be our day break. Tomorrow coming up, we'll be running the 2009 Braun GP F1 car as our classic car race, which will be around Japan at Suzuka, and then we'll be running Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Mexico, Monaco, and then Silverstone's shortened course for the rest of the season or mini championship tomorrow. So we've got essentially 12 full races. 10, I believe, are points paying. Actually, do we get points for this one? We don't get points for this one. For the last one, and that was just to set the qualifying. So no points. Even though I was talking about points, no points for the race itself. So we'll have 10 points paying races and 2 qualifying races. Looks like most everybody else is actually grabbing some different cars, but I'm gonna stick with my car for this one. We're gonna stick in the Haas, yeah. So Racer 04, Fast 6 are not typically Ferrari drivers. QX Nemesis not typically Red Bull. So yeah, everybody else is kind of mixed up cars. I might mix up. I'll stay in my my Haas. Yeah, Spain, great testing track, tough track to race on, not a lot of overtaking opportunities around this track unless somebody makes a pretty big mistake, which with fixed setups and the amount of limited practice we've got on is pretty, it's an option for sure. But we'll see if that opens up for any of us. But in typically, so many of the overtaking straights are right after pretty heavily aero-limited corners. So you really can't follow another car too closely through there in order to make a good run. There's 2 DRS zones, one on the obviously start-finish straight, and one at the and one down kind of the midfield section of the course right before you head into the tight and twisty Sector 3. But let's get ourselves right out here on the grid, kind of towards the back, it would appear, because of our 6th place result. We're running no damage for these events as well, as you probably saw with the Monza race after we got run into. Yeah, a couple of deaths early on. We were kind of trying to be tentative into the first couple of corners. Man, it's so different feeling like just immediately going to these cars after the F2 because like your braking distances are so much shorter. Like it's such an aggressively different feel. Whew. Like another death at the back there. We're up into P5. See if we can mix our way up to where the leaders are at. Into the final section here. Now, one of the things that makes Barcelona a good test track is it's a pretty solid mix. It's got a good length on the front straight and a very good mix of low, mid, and high-speed corners. So it's a pretty solid test track for sure. But for racing, it can have a bit of a shortcoming. Just carry the speed, carry the speed. Okay, starting to get a feel for the car now. There's definitely a transition period after driving that that F2 car that was much more sluggish on the brakes, much longer brake distances, a heavier steering actually on the F2 car compared to the F1 cars. The F1 cars a little bit less force feedback, and then the classic exit from the track coming into the last sector there. That corner can really get to the back end of the car, just gets really light through that corner, so it's easy to kind of drop the back end. But here we are up in P4 now, okay, so we've made
3 now. DRS has been enabled.
Or sorry, lap 3. We're making some moves up the field. Come on, car. Grip, grip, grip. Ooh, started to get a little bit of understeer right at the end there. One problem with the auto ERS, drains all your batteries a lot. You notice I usually keep a fair bit more energy in reserve and deploy it at different times than what the automatic does, but it's picking out some stuff. Next year there's going to be an overhaul to the ERS system. They're simplifying it, making it actually a little bit more realistic as well. Because a lot of teams actually kind of preset their electrical deployments for each track before they get there. So their harvest zones and their deployment zones are pretty much set up, and then the driver is given an overtake button, which allows them to override the preset, essentially. I'm going to get gobbled up by Nemesis here. See if we can't just tuck in and grab a little bit of slipstream off of him. But yeah, so they preset it, and then the drivers have an overtake button to help them, you know, defend or fight with, that will use up that extra energy, but they will have to, the system does have to derate and kind of make up for that later in order to keep it all fully charged. So we'll be seeing that with the next year's game, in the 2020 version. Looks like we're finally getting some battery. Oh, yep, see, you catch that curve and that's curtains. Let's see, can we... Okay, managed not to lose a position off of it. So, you know, that's alright. But yeah, it's funny, if you watch the cars in testing, you'll see they take a lot of that curb, but in the game, it's such a bumpy curb that it can really just fling you up over the top, turning the engine down. Just need to stay in front of Golly up there. Looks like fifth on the road is kind of where we're at right now. Thanks to a brain-dead little mix-up by me, though, I'm all right. For some reason, I got it in my head that the F2 race was going to be here. Forgot that we had added Monza to the list. So I actually spent some time, not a lot of time, but I did a practice race around here in the F2 cars. I didn't do any practice
gap to the car in front is
in the F1 cars, which I was doing all right before I decided to chuck myself over the death curve. Oh, if he'd stayed stationary just a teeny bit longer. Ooh, back in, stepping out. Woo. Well, we'll take that. Take P5. Doesn't look like anybody picked up any penalties there. So here's the last few guys get across the line here and finish up race points race number 1. So P5, that puts us 4 points. 4 points. Think so? Two, 4, 6, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, 4 points. So let's see, we're headed off to Circuit Paul Ricard next. Where's K3? Oh, he's just deciding to straight line the finishing chicane to run across the line and finish this race off as he kind of goes bashing into the walls. All right. Looks like McLaren taking the top step in this 5-lap little runner here. I bet you apparently nobody except me representing their main team. So yeah, not an easy track to fight on. We just kind of just didn't really have the pace to catch anybody up around there. Some of the other guys were a fair bit quicker, and was just not super comfortable around that track. But hey, this is just a fun little mini championship, so I'm enjoying it so far. It looks like Povey was able to gap the field enough to grab a pretty clean win, even with his 2-second penalty there. But yeah, look at us, 22-1 versus the top guys running a 20 in the 20s. So definitely a little bit off the pace. But when checking on this screen here, you can pretty much ignore the points on the right side there, because it is not the points that we're actually using for this one. But it'll give you kind of a baseline. But the point spread is a fair bit different. We are utilizing the fastest lap point. You're still using that, but it'll have a pretty big impact on the championship standings with such a smaller amount of points available. Now France, we actually have run a few laps around, so hopefully we can keep it fairly clean and healthy going around this track. So now we're getting the qualifying change to the one-shot quali, so we just gotta absolutely rip and roll, turn in a good lap time, try not to invalidate by any corner cutting, and see if we can work our way up. But looks like half the guys have readied up. 5 of 8 readied. We got about 20 seconds till one-shot qualifying, or it'll throw us out aggressively on track, and you just gotta hope for the best. Oh, the stripey boy. Super stripey Circuit Paul Ricard. Like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Super stripey Grand Circuit Paul Ricard. Alright, hands on the wheel, because the screen's basically going to turn like on, and it'll be time to absolutely go, so let's try to not bottle it in the first light corner. All right. Readied up. 25 more seconds to consider my imminent demise. Oh, never mind. Everybody ready. Okay. First things first, flip open. Let's get the differential setting done. Okay. A little slow through T2, could have been better through there, but we're still on the road. Oh, that's close to a corner cut. This is definitely not the fastest lap I've ever driven around this track so far. I've definitely put in better times, but you know, trying to keep it relatively safe. So the lighting just seems a little different than I'm used to. It's like a late afternoon, so you're getting some glint and glare off the floor here. Flat out through there. See where we cross the line. Povey first. We weren't too far off. 2 guys disqualified. Third, alright, top 3. Wow, lots of disqualifications. Okay, I might have gotten third because I was like the only person who didn't get disqualified. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. That just means I gotta be absolutely... Yeah. so many invalidations. Yeah, 1.2 off of Povey there. Almost a full second off of K3. But hey, that's all we needed was just to make it through. Just try to make it through there. So let's see what we can do in the 5-lap shootout. Hopefully, not go too off in the first couple of corners, not get beat up. Let's get a good start. At least be able to settle in for the race itself. Hopefully, no crashy times for us. A lot of people invalidated in that last sector. A lot of people invalidated in that last sector. According to the Discord chat from the guys. But let's jump out. Interesting time of day to choose this race. Very interesting. Definitely not the official time. There's a helicopter hovering up there. Sees everybody else on the grid pretty much. K3's up there. I feel like my lights might have gone out a little bit after everybody else's because everybody was pretty much moving before I saw the lights go on my screen. So maybe a bit of a lag spike there that cost me some time. A little fight going on between Denelson and Racer up in front of us. See if we can catch that pack up a little bit.
Illegal maneuver, cede that position or receive a penalty.
Well, unfortunately having to give that position back also put me behind Golly here. Just trying to find a good spot to avoid that wreckage, but really couldn't find a good spot.
We can salvage this.
Yeah, I've got to be having some internet issues right now because there are people just all over the place on my screen. Hi, you want to maybe try and grip a little bit? Well, dead last now. Got kind of bullied out of the way throughout that whole section.
Nice move.
Alright, well, we're like 2.7 off the guy in front, so we gotta really make up some ground here. Hopefully they can start to squabble a little bit in front, but my hopes aren't particularly
Race
high.
officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
Oh, well. That's going to get me in a little bit of trouble. So maintaining the gap to K3 behind us. Didn't get a particularly good look at the moment when we cross line to see if we're really reeling these guys in. I mean, it looks like it. They seem to be a little bit closer, but still okay. I'm about 1.9 off now. It was 2.7 last time by, so. We can just chew our way up.
The gap to the car ahead is 1.5
so
seconds.
far off. Okay, car got a little light over that turn 2 there, but we managed to keep it alive just barely. Not really catching down that guy in front. So this is probably going to be a pretty rough result for us unless somebody makes a big mistake up ahead. Which, you know, not out of the question. Let's turn up the engine. Let's see if we can close up something. Yeah, fell to 2.2 through that sector there. Let's see what the gap is at the line, and if there's any hope of us catching it. Nope, too flat. We got 3.1 behind, so it's going to be just... Don't make a big mistake. Don't pick up a penalty. If I pick up a penalty, it'll be 2 seconds, and it'll definitely put K3 in position to take that off of me. Man, these guys are just quick on me. Maybe some more of the midfield guys to come join this mini championship. It's all like the fastest few guys are who I'm racing with. I'm a little outclassed at the moment. These are the guys that are usually fighting for legit top 5s in the entire field. K3 really reeled me in this last lap or so. Here we are, streaking across the line. Picked up P6 thanks to a time penalty. Alright. Well, lots of wow, lots of penalties out there. We took 6th over Povey by, after his 2 penalties, by less than a tenth. Looks to be 22 thousandths of a second. Alright, so that is France. We're on to Hungary. The Hungaroring. See if we can't get, more up the field a little bit here. Gonna ready up and let's rock and roll. Hungary is another track I'm not particularly great at, so let's just try and turn in some clean laps. All right, Hungary, the Hungaroring. A sight of Lewis Hamilton last year banging in like 20 straight qualifying laps to catch Max Verstappen towards the end of the race on a fresher set of tires. Wasn't able to get past him on the same set of tires, took the gamble, went on fresh mediums and went just absolutely ham. A great scrap between those two last year. Great scrap. I just gotta find a little bit of center. Wait for everybody else to get readied up. See if we can't turn in a good qualifying here. Foot to the floor. I'm sure, I'm going to be horrifically off the pace. Even 3 seasons of career mode, just never really got comfortable with the way this track lays out. Especially this chicane. This has been the bane of my existence. Very twisty, kind of technical track. I just never seem to get a good rhythm around here. Okay, maybe like a second or so off of Povey there. Racer DQ. Only the one disqualification there, so where are we at the moment? 5th, okay. Oh wow, 2 seconds off of Povey. 18.9 versus a 16.9, but P5. Let's just see if we can stay with anybody throughout this race here. The mini championship is just zooming along for us here, picking up bits of XP here and there. Yeah, a pretty big gap though between us and the next couple of guys. It's like Denelson had a bit of an off-track adventure there. Racer DSQ'd. But yeah, the top guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, all within 6/10, and then boom, big drop off to me. About a second, 1.3 seconds off of K3 there. So a pretty significant drop off. Galli, I'm sure, is going to have better pace. Same with Denelson. I think they'll both have a good opportunity to get by me. Well, let's get on the grid and see if we can't score some points in this championship and kind of try and get off the bottom step, as it were. So let's slap right out to the grid here. Finding our box. Did somebody take a grid penalty? Did we get moved up? Or can I just not see the guy in front of the guy in front of me? Could be that. Well, we got kind of bullied to the back while trying to not crash into people, so... Bit of a bummer there.
Okay, we're through the start phase. Now let's build on it.
Really slow through that corner there, even by my own standards. Come on, let's not fall off the back of this group here. I know I'm not good at this track, but so much wheel spin out of these corners. Gonna need a mistake or some serious scrapping to be able to join this group. I'm not gonna go for the aggressive dive bomb on Racer, even though he did it on us in the T1.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Okay, he's a little slow getting out of there. Let him back through because we had a bit of contact there. Racer's surely got some penalty, surely carrying some penalties with his creative use of the runoffs throughout this race, unless they're not calling that penalty. In which case, I'm just gonna be kind of stuck behind him. Can't really get by him. He carries so much speed out of a lot of those corners where the exit's usually a little tighter. By running out wide like that. 21-2. Such a slow lap.
Yellow flag.
Oh.
Green flag.
Okay, a couple people fighting their way to their own death.
This is your final lap of the race.
Seems to be pretty clear from the guys behind us. The racer had a moment there, but there was nowhere for us to go to get by him. A double pirouette on the curve of death.
Brilliant maneuver. 2 places at once.
Well, it's one way to pick up some spots
Gap
on the
to car
final
in
lap.
front is 1.7 seconds.
All right, cross the line, P3, picking up a podium. All right, picking up a podium thanks to some penalties. Okay, all right, I can get on board with that. After a dismal race, I spent pretty much the whole thing in 8th place, man. Yeah, get to spray a little champagne on the podium this time. That's big. Yeah, Nemesis picking up that 2-second penalty. Got me on the podium, but what was the gap? So 12 by a 10th. By a literal 10th of a second. Yeah, watching the double Ferrari pirouette in front of me. And in spite of having the slowest best lap in the entire lobby, I somehow came P3. Just a matter of keeping the car nice and clean, safe, and making it to the end of the race. We didn't do much. It didn't do a whole lot for my championship standing. I mean, it'll help out a bit because it's a little bit more squishied. And I see a nice, good, solid view of both Ferraris pirouetting in front of me on the death curb, the one curb you don't want to touch. Turn 12 Bahrain, and right there in Hungary, where you touch that inside curb and the back end steps out. I was just lucky I was able to keep the car mostly on the track in order to stay in control to make that pass stick. But now we're headed off to Russia, the Sochi Autodromo. Running around the old Olympic sites. Let's see what we can do here. See if we can't perform a bit. And it'll be China after this. Will be the last race of today's little mini championship day 1. And then tomorrow we'll hit day 2 of the mini champs. Complete. It's a long run. Oh, that's so late. Okay, I rejoined slow enough to where my time won't get invalidated. My only hope is that other people invalidate now. Because I just missed my breaking point by an absolute, like, kilometer. Or a mile, for, you know, us Americans. Oh, dismal. What am I doing around this track? 2 amps from my, 2 amps from my podium, I guess. Yeah, but, oh man. Apparently I've forgotten how to drive this track for a moment. So, we're going to turn in a lap time, but it's going to be pretty awful. Alright, yeah. Just cut it, invalidate our lap, there we go. I don't even want to look at that lap time, we made so many mistakes. Well, starting towards the back of the grid here, this time. See if we can't move our way through the field.
Okay, the first lap is always a bit hectic. Make sure you give other cars a lot of room. We don't want any problems.
So that was the way to handle the last qualifying of today. Okay, a little bit of carnage early. Oh, who just torpedoed me? Luckily, the torpedo put me back straight, but that was such a filthy move. I left so much room on the inside. Still got absolutely torpedoed. Okay, P6, basically same spot we started. So, choking. Started in. See if anybody else is going to make any mistakes up front. It's going to be important here. There's a lot of easy places to get little track limits penalties, so I think if we can stay clean and not pick up a penalty, we might have an opportunity to pick up a spot at the end off of the track limits. Looks like Golly just went off on the inside of the final corner, took that bollard out. Okay, that's only our first warning, not two. Man, it would have been perfect if we had DRS that time. You're going to be safe, kind of. Back out there. Fast 6 is all over our tail here. Okay, DRS is enabled. We'll have DRS on Golly here. We're going to run out of electrical though. We're not going to be able to catch him. We're going to derate. Come on, Auto ERS, turn down, save some energy. Can't get close enough off that final corner, and yeah, no energy left. No electrical to play with. Well, now we're derating charges. We're going to lose a bunch of time. That group, instead of being able to hang with them. Okay. Golly's certainly got to be picking up a track limits penalty. He's gone over the corners quite a few times, I think. So let's not get too feisty with him over this last lap. We can't. Okay, he's off.
This is your final lap of the race.
Hey, you want to maybe spend some of that ERS? Don't know what you're saving it for. Come on, deploy. This is where you lose a lot of time on the auto ERS settings in the game because it loves to just charge up a bunch. It's like it's the last lap. Let's use some of this. Oh, that's terrible. This could put me in trouble down the long DRS straight there. Nice, Chuck's joined, so we'll have another guy.
Caution, caution. The track is clear. Green flag.
Okay, P4 over that one. Not bad. Not a bad race overall. I think I ran pretty decently. Oop. Hey, AI, don't bump. No bumpies. Man, almost got that place on a fast 6 there. Yeah, Racer dropped way behind me. Yeah, I picked up a position that way. Almost picked up another position though. Marco dropping way down. He got 8 extra seconds on his time. Shoot. Alright, so now what we're going to do, the last race of this session will be going to China, and it will be a reverse championship order, I believe is what we're doing. So we'll let K3, the host, set that one up, and our set our grid here, and then we'll be able to jump in and have a good time. We've moved up to in the on the new point scoring system. In the new system, we're a P4 at the moment. We'll see where we are according to the old point system. I think that's think that that podium helped us out a lot and gave us a good chance to move up the grid. Okay, custom grid is getting set up. And top three is a pretty good fight. And we're just kind of trying to keep our nose clean as much as possible and kind of hold down the middle of the pack. See what we can see what we can make happen out of this one. Hopefully it's another good run. But let's see what everybody else is sitting at. See if there's any difference between the new point system and the old point system. It looks like the top guys, QX Nemesis, Povey, Fast 6, they're going to have to carve their way through the field. We're probably going to be towards the back of the... We'll be in the back half as well. We'll see what happens in Shanghai. Nice long straight to overtake into that hairpin. First corners, that long sweeping right-hander. It's a little scary to think about. Little scary to think about with this group that's been pretty aggressive so far, heading into a lot of turn ones. It's not like there's a clean turn one and then an exit. You got some mess to make your way through in Shanghai here. Say overall, consistency-wise, it's been a decent success today. I've gained more positions because of other people's penalties than I have lost today. I think I've only lost the one position because of a penalty, whereas I've gained the last couple of races and picked up some spots, including that lovely podium, which is always nice to have. Probably won't see one during the regular season. So currently we've got Nemesis on 30 points, Fast 6 on 26 points, MJ Povey at 25 points. I am at 18. Golly and Marco Dinelson at 17 right behind me, and then Racer and K3 tied at 14. So it's a lot to play for this race. Let's see if we can't stretch our P4 a little bit. Hopefully we can have a good run. We're going straight into the race, no qualifying. Hopefully nobody dies. Itch on top of the head, under the hat and headband of the headset. Great combo to start the race. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can't make something good happen out of this. if we can't move our way forward. We're basically smack dab in the middle of the grid. Got 4 cars in front of us and 3 cars behind us. Figured that was going to happen, which is why I went very slow into turn 1. Kind of had a feeling that there was going to be that car today. I talked about it before the race even started. A couple of guys punching off. Oh, come on, understeer. Come on, car. Do me a favor and believe in grip. Okay, got a pretty good run out of that corner compared to Marco in front. Let's see. Can we slipstream off him? We're going to be a little too far back, I think. Oh, I saw you. I saw you thinking about it, Nemesis.
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
A little bit of oversteer moment there. Caught it. What happened there? Did we go way off track? It's like some of those quicker guys are starting to catch us up a bit. People that had issues at the start of the race. Alright, we got MJ Povey behind us, who is darn quick. And, the Nemesis on his reset the track. I had to try and avoid his car in case it didn't ghost automatically. But it definitely affected my run out of that corner, for sure. Ooh, big snap of oversteer.
Race
Oh
officials have
man.
enabled DRS.
The
DRS
stadium
is
side.
now available.
Dude, I'm trying to let you by. I don't know how I drifted it so far. Without spinning, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't rightly know. That was about as bad of a run out of that corner as I could have possibly had right there. Well, looks like I can kind of settle into P4 at the moment. Racer's still up in P3. He's managed to avoid a lot of the carnage. He's not slow, he's just had some bad luck earlier in the races. That's why he's down the field. Same with K3. 2.8 back. We're not in a penalty range, so if he's picked up a track limits penalty, we're not quite there to be able to take advantage of it yet. But if he picks up 2, we're in range. Okay, 2.6. We are closing him up a bit. Alright, so Povey's out. That's going to hurt his run towards the top of the field. We're still, I don't think we're quite within range of Racer yet. But we've definitely made some significant ground this time around. Fast 6 isn't quite there. We're at 2.1. We might be able to, oh, I say might. Trying to give him some room to race.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.5 seconds.
It's just suicide to try and go side by side through there. Alright, let's see what the K3 on the podium again after getting a win. That's going to help him out a lot. We'll see where the championships end up. Well, definitely an interesting mess with the reverse grid race there. We'll see once K3 gets the standings pumped in for today's run. But I don't think there was any penalties in front of us, and obviously that little bit of off track. Yeah, no penalties from Racer in front. Nemesis and Povey both finish at the bottom of the table there. We just managed to hold off Fast 6 at the very end there. K3, according to the new points, or current points model, will be just past us. But we'll pop in and see what the finishing totals are going to be after that. I think we'll just go ahead and advance on through. That's day one of the mini championship kind of completed. So we'll jump out. We'll give an update to the championship standings after or when we start tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have those numbers in by then, and then that'll be the start. We'll start off with a classic car race. We'll be running the 09 Braun GP, the championship winning car from Jenson Button, and then we'll use that to set the first of our races at Abu Dhabi. So it should be fun to finish that off. Hopefully we can hold a decent position in the championship. Kind of finish middle of the field I wouldn't be unhappy with. But I will check you guys all later. Peace.